The music swelled as Miriam stepped onto the aisle. White fabric brushing the petals scattered across the church floor. Sunlight poured through stained glass, turning dust into gold. At the altar, Daniel stood straight-backed, smiling the careful smile of a man holding his breath until everything was official. "Dearly beloved," the officiant began. The doors slammed open. Everyone turned. The man who stood in the doorway looked like Daniel older, sharper around the eyes, hair streaked with gray, suit wrinkled as if he'd slept in it for weeks. His tie hung loose, and there was a scar on his left cheek Daniel did not have. "I object," the man said, voice hoarse, "because I'm you." 30 years from now. Laughter rippled through the pews. Someone coughed. Someone else whispered, "Is this a prank?" Daniel felt the room tilt. The man raised his hand, palm out, and said, "Before you laugh, Daniel, you broke your arm at 12 falling from the mango tree behind your mother's house. You still hate coriander. And the ring in your pocket has a tiny scratch inside the band from when you dropped it in the kitchen this morning." Daniel's fingers went numb. The ring burned against his leg. The officiant stammered, "Sir, this is highly inappropriate. Give me 2 minutes," the older Daniel said. "Then I'll go." Miriam's grip tightened on her bouquet. Her eyes searched Daniel's face not for answers but for honesty. 2 minutes, she said quietly. The church fell silent. "I didn't come to stop you because you're unhappy," the older Daniel said, stepping closer. "I came because you're happy in the wrong way. Comfortable, safe, proud of yourself. You'll well build a life that looks perfect from the outside and feels hollow at 3 in the morning." "That's ridiculous," Daniel said, though his voice shook. "You don't know anything about my future." "I know you'll quit painting," the man replied softly. "You'll tell yourself it's temporary. You'll tell yourself love is enough. And it is just not the kind that cages you." Miriam flinched. The older Daniel turned to her. "You are kind. You are loyal. You will carry more than your share of the weight. And you will forgive him so often it will become invisible." Miriam swallowed. "Do I regret marrying him?" The man hesitated. That hesitation was worse than any answer. "You don't regret it," he said at last. "You survive it." Daniel stepped forward, anger rising. "So what? I walk away because someday I might be unhappy?" "Everyone's unhappy sometimes." "Yes," the older Daniel said, eyes shining. "But some unhappiness is a warning. And some is a wound you keep reopening because it feels familiar." The silence pressed in. "Why now?" Daniel asked. "Because this is the last moment you still believe you're choosing," the older man said. "After today, you'll call everything fate." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a folded piece of paper, yellowed at the edges. "You wrote this when you were 19. Daniel unfolded it with trembling hands. It was his handwriting. "I will not trade who I am for who I am expected to be." The older Daniel stepped back. "Whatever you decide, I disappear after this. That's how it works." "Wait," Miriam said. Her voice was steady, but her eyes were wet. "If he doesn't marry me, what happens to me?" The older Daniel smiled sadly. "You find someone who meets you where you are. And you stop mistaking endurance for love." The church doors creaked as he turned to leave. Daniel looked at Miriam, at the life they had planned, the safety, the certainty. Then he looked at the paper in his hand. He exhaled. "I need to choose," he said. Miriam nodded once. "So do I." When Daniel looked up again, the doorway was empty. No older man, no echo of footsteps, just sunlight and dust. The officiant cleared his throat. "Shall we continue?" Daniel folded the paper carefully and slipped it into his pocket. "Not today," he said. Miriam let out a breath that was half laugh, half sob. She took off her veil, placed it gently on the pew, and took Daniel's hand not as a promise, but as a goodbye. As they walked down the aisle in opposite directions, neither of them noticed the faint smell of oil paint in the air or the sense, somewhere far in the future, of a scar fading. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more content like this every day.